At first I actually turned off the fan, thinking I would get a better audio, which I probably would, except when I turned off the fan I realized why I had the fan on. Not just to cool off. It's evening out here, so the temperature has dropped down dramatically. However, the mosquitoes are horrendous. As soon as I turned the fan off, I got attacked. So I'll keep hurricane force winds up just to keep the mosquitoes away. But we're doing the mock-up of the lower control arm system here with the gusset welded in place. And the designated bolt through the system. We have to put this back here like this. Is going to necessitate moving the brake line. Definitely going to have to unbolt that and then weld that in place. However, I don't know if you can see it clearly, but there now exists a substantial gap. What's the old saying? Measure twice, cut once? Yep. So remember what I said too. Even if you make a mistake, you just fix it. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So on one side I cut too much, and on the other side didn't cut enough. So on the side that I cut too much, all I'm doing is taking the piece that I cut out and driving it right back in, and it becomes a washer. And one of the biggest reasons why you do a mock-up first before your final assembly. There we go. Now, I may run a bead down there. I may leave it alone. But for right now, the mock-up of the lower arm is complete. I'll put a bolt on here because we have to orient this gusset properly and tack weld that gusset to the cross member. So here's another reason why you do a mock-up before you permanently bolt, weld, or whatever on your project. Mounted the lower control arm with the piece. Remember, this side I cut too much off of. The same piece I cut off, ended up shaving just a little bit to make it fit. Just with the angle grinder, just ground a little bit off to make it fit tightly. Instructions say to weld this gusset on as we did right here, and then weld it in place. Current wisdom says you're going to place it probably at a 90-degree angle. Well, this hole right here is a through bolt for the power, not the power steering rack, but the steering rack. So we could not weld this at 90 degrees. And I'm actually glad I got under here and took a look at it before I tacked it into place where I originally had it. But I saw that this extension was in line with the hole in the front. I looked in the back, can't do it. So, for continuity's sake, we're doing the same thing on the other side. So we'll get these pieces tacked in, and before we burn everything in, going to unbolt this because you do not want to put heat on your polyurethane bushings. But definitely wanted this held in place and tightened so that everything is square with the proper alignment bolts for the lower control arm. And as I said, we'll tack it, disassemble it, then burn it in. Yeah, come on.
That's okay. I'm gonna let you do it because you one got the helmet on. We only have one.
No, I got 3.
Oh. I just see one.
Oh, you just see one because it's on me.
Oh, I take that back. Kaden and Mandy's head. Let's stay here.
Yep. Before we get to the assembly of the control arm, I'm going to clean up the frame here. It still has some undercoating, I guess, from the original manufacturer year, 1977. And we're going to make it want to look good. Kind of make it want to look good. Yeah, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. This original bumper mount bracket is going to come off. Now in the future, that's way in the future, we're going to fabricate different brackets because if you remember, maybe not, during the unboxing, we actually have fiberglass pieces that are going to go on to the Mustang too. So going to get this off, get the wire brush going, get this thing cleaned up so we can do some final assembly and mock-up. Dang. Sucker is on there. This requires heavy-duty equipment. If you notice when I got the breaker bar and put it on, I actually tightened, as you see right there, pushing down the fastener before I loosened it. This is a technique you can use with a fastener. It really has a lot of torque on it in order to break it free. You want to break that friction between the fastener and the capture nut that's inside there in order to do it. And you can only do it with the breaker bar. If you're doing this with a smaller fastener, you use caution, use an appropriately sized bar for the task. Otherwise, you'll snap it right off. Leverage solves everything. Thank you, Archimedes. Wasn't expecting that. At least I got my safety shoes on. It's amazing all the excess weight you can find when your goal is to take off as much weight as possible. I'm going to put on this face shield. I've got the headset also, noise canceling. I'm trying to preserve what I got left of my hearing. And this time I've got the microphone outside the mask, even though I probably still sound like I did when I was wearing the oxygen mask. And years ago when I was scuba diving, I actually got to experience wearing a, looking outside. What the commercial divers call a rat pack helmet, and being completely underwater with no water on my face at all. Talk about an experience. Walking on the bottom underneath some big boats down in Key Largo, Florida. That was fun. Hey, but I'm sorry. Off on a tangent. Frame rail, clean it up. Okay, first part of that cleanup was done with the wire wheel. Pretty decent results. Now remember, we're removing this rubberized or tar-like undercoating from the frame of the Mustang 2. So that was fairly quick work. Now the problem gets to be on the backside here. Can't exactly get the wire brush on the drill into this upper surface right here to remove all of that, and you know, it may not be crucial, but we're just going to explore a different technique to remove this rubberized undercoating. Some type of scraper, preferably metal, because we're going to apply a little heat, and a heat gun. So heat gun at two settings, one high, one low. That is what, 1200 watts max. Just apply a little heat to get the stuff soft. Could you use open flame? Sure you could, but if you're going to use an open flame, be aware of something. We're talking about flammable materials. So if you don't want to start a fire, use it cautiously, but we're going to apply just a little bit of heat to this now. I'd say if you don't have one of these heat guns, I bet you got a blow dryer, put it on high setting. Get your metal scraper and go to work. Let's see what happens. There are some people out there that absolutely take out all the weight that they can from a vehicle, because anything that you add to the car does add weight. So in terms of performance, yeah, you definitely want to shed weight. And in some cases, just because of looks. So it's all about what you want to do, what type of effort you're willing to put in to your particular project. So there you go, two different techniques that seem to work pretty good. I'm even going to take this off right up in here, I guess. So this is what you end up looking like when you go down a rabbit hole. Yeah. Well, anyway, work pretty much completed on getting the frame cleaned up. Both sides had. And started back there in the fender well on the driver's side, but look at all the debris. You can't really see it back there, but went all the way back in the transmission tunnel and to that main cross member that you see right there, knocking off the rust in the scale and oil and grease from here, because I think it looks like we're going to paint the underside of the car too.